Join me on episode 10 of my Continental Divide Trail journey, this episode starting at the New Mexico-Colorado border. Come along for the ride as I face bone-chilling overnight temperatures, navigate icy water crossings, and tackle a forced reroute when a treacherous mountain climb turns perilous. Experience the raw thrills of thru-hiking. I must admit to a small feeling of elation now that I'm about to be walking through Colorado. It's amazing. Considering I had never done an overnight backpacking trip before this CDT hike, I honestly believed if I could at least get through the first 5 days and make it back to Lordsburg, I'd consider that a victory. But to get through all of New Mexico and now into Colorado, I can't believe it. I can't believe I made it. While I have received many acts of kindness, generosity and support from people along the way, notably Webbuster and Catherine, I would like to make special mention of Chip Crusher, who has been unbelievable in helping me reach this far. So thank you so much, Chip Crusher. Straight into Colorado, and the first thing we've got to get over is a big ice block. There's more ice and snow to travel on as we head to Cumbres Pass now. Well, Colorado, I said I was looking forward to meeting you, and here you are. And straight up, you've put on a great view for me. The snow continues in Colorado, of course, and the terrain is quite steep in places. We come to a spot where we can see the highway down at Cumbres Pass. Our plan was to catch a hitch back to Chalmer, but looking at the road, the traffic is non-existent. With luck we have phone service here, so I make a call to Terry at Cumbres Suites to see if there's any kind of taxi service in Chalmer that could pick us up 12 miles away up at the pass. She says no and is going out, but she and her husband Kip drive their truck up to the pass and leave it at the trailhead car park for us. This is another example where we have been so blessed with many acts of generosity and kindness. The views in Colorado are pretty spectacular already.
All right.
Here we are at Cumbres Pass railway station, and over here we have a green F truck left for us by Terry and Kip from the Cumbres Suites so we can get back to the hotel. How good are they? Who needs to hitch when you get your own personal truck dropped off for you at the trailhead? That is the summit range we just came across. We decide to not hang around and push on into Colorado. It's a bit daunting because really it is way too early in the season to be trying to venture through. But we'll head back out there and see what unfolds. Terry from the motel kindly dropped Chip Crusher and I back up at Cumbrae's Pass, so that saved us from having to catch a hitch. As she dropped us off at the railway station and drove away, I realised my clean drinking water bottle had fallen out of my backpack. It must be rolling around in the back of her truck. Not to worry, I'll make do. The first day back after a break requires some getting used to. The pack seems heavier, the shoulders get a bit sorer, and I've discussed my feet often enough. But usually by the next day I'm back into the swing of things. Also, walking on snow is at best an inconvenience. But seeing as though I'm in Colorado for a very long time now, I better get used to it, because that is going to be a daily occurrence, I think. The first day back requires a recalibration of my thinking, because there's no more lying about in a motel room. It's back to walking 10 to 12 hours a day. From Cumbrae's Pass, we are straight back into it, with a 7.6 mile or 12k climb to an exposed peak at 11,483 feet. That is now the highest on the trail that I've been, and is nearly 200 feet higher than Mount Taylor, the highest peak in New Mexico. And this is just the warm-up for today. We climbed 4 peaks in total, with the highest at 12,174 feet. We mostly follow an exposed ridgeline, and the wind is so strong it's blowing me sideways. This goes on all day. Often I'm blown a metre or so off the trail. Just taking a step results in one leg being blown across in front of the other. Lots of trips today. For most of the day I'm stumbling along like a drunken sailor, as they say. Again, I'm lucky the gusty winds is blowing me onto the mountain rather than off it. This is the ridgeline straight across that we've been following. Very windy. While the wind is howling and the snow is hard work, when you're up this high in the mountains, the scenery is spectacular. From the high snowy peaks to the valleys below, the views make it all worthwhile. Now, Chalmers way down through that pass, through there. We've came up all the way along them, and then we've been ridge running all the way along here. We're up above 12,000 feet now, over another 100 to the summit. Late in the day, the snow is very soft and slushy, and it really impedes our progress. We were hoping to make it to a campground near Dipping Lakes, but after a late start to the day and struggling with the first day back, Chip Crusher and I decided to call it a day at 6 p.m. We are still 2 miles or 3 k's short of our target, but the snow is too slow going. There is not much available clear space for a camp, so Chip Crusher sets up in one little area, while I set mine up in a damp, grassy area on a slope. Slim pickings. Also, we are still very high in elevation at 11,761 feet, so I'm expecting it to be a very cold night this high up. Last night I had a low of minus 13 degrees. When I got up this morning it was minus 12. Very chilly. It was certainly a new level of cold through the night. Tonight I think the plan is to basically wear everything I've got, including my rain gear. Hopefully that will keep me warm enough. I can't wait for the sun to come up and share some of its warmth. My shoes were once again frozen rock solid, and my toes, now that I'm wearing them, are frozen too. It's so cold this morning it's ridiculous. Check these bare prints. I didn't think they'd be up here in the cold. I got to thinking about the sun, and while it is my friend in the morning, after lunch it becomes my enemy. For the hard frozen snow disappears in the afternoon to become wet, inconsistent and slushy. It becomes a lottery as to whether the snow will hold your weight from one step to the next. It's almost like walking along and at any moment a trapdoor will open and through you fall. The question then becomes, how deep? The high point today was a mountain pass at 12,318 feet. That's more than 1,000 feet higher than Mount Taylor. I spent a lot of the morning up around the 12,000 feet region. What is amazing about Colorado is that while I was at 12,300 feet, there is another range not far away that is higher still. And way out in the distance, there is a massive mountain range that dwarfs all of these. They certainly look pretty daunting. Most of the day was spent in snowshoes as we covered vast tracts of mountaintop land. Thankfully the snow held up much better for this afternoon compared to yesterday. There was still some post holing even in the snowshoes, but nowhere near as much. I have to say, the snow really is hard work. You just cannot stride along in it. It creates more friction which slows you down. Plus with the melting sun, you get all sorts of different conditions. But for all the harsh winds, freezing cold temperatures and painful snow, it is all counterbalanced by the absolutely stunning scenery. The views from the high mountain peaks are just amazing and the snowy backdrop is just beautiful. I find I am stopping far too often and mostly always just to take pictures, which is not great when it is slow going anyway. But I just can't help it. Every rise or corner reveals another stunning outlook.
It's like Florida beach water.
Ship crushers contemplating going for a dip. Somehow I don't think so.
Hopefully it doesn't hit my pants.
We reached Blue Lake late in the afternoon, and yet in its frozen state it looks more green. But this is our last water source before we call it a day, unless you melt snow. The only problem is it is frozen on top, and when the trekking pole fails to break through the ice, Chip Crusher resorts to using my ice axe to hack away at the surface to reveal its precious water. We fill up here, and from now on we are looking for somewhere to camp. These are the things you have to do to get water sometimes. The only problem is everywhere we look is just snow. So we hike on another kilometre or two, or about a mile, and just when things are looking desperate, like a miracle, a small patch of earth is revealed. While it is at the top of a valley and exposed to the wind, it is snow-free and reasonably flat. Chip Crusher and I quickly set up our tents to escape the chilling breeze. We have a big day tomorrow with a huge peak to climb. So it's off to bed early because tomorrow it's a 4 a.m. wake-up call to get going by 5. Quick recap for today. Did 15 miles, 24 k's, which was not too bad considering the terrain. It's hard to get your head around, days of doing 30 and 40 kilometres in a day are certainly not really possible in these snowy conditions, especially when you're climbing so many mountains up and down. High pass today was about 12,300 feet, but we spent a lot of the day up around 12,000 feet, so quite high up in elevation. Lots of snow basically everywhere, just as far as you can see. We did get a little bit of ridge running there early on, but nearly all the day was spent in snowshoes trudging through the snow. I have to say, at least the snow this afternoon was much better than how it was this morning. So all in all, not a bad day. It was minus 13 last night. It's a bit of a worry, so I'm hopeful it won't be that cold again. Chip Crusher and I were up and at it at 5:15 a.m. this morning because in about 5 miles we have a huge technical traverse to tackle. Plus, while we are so high up in the mountains, it is critical to get as much done as early as possible before the snow turns against us. In the morning, while the now frozen snow is extremely undulating and bumpy, at least it is hard. We travel across some steep traverses, lots of ups and downs, all while climbing higher and higher. After about 3 miles or 5 k's from Blue Lake, we reach our nemesis. The trail heads in a southwestern direction around a huge peak. We climb nearly all the way to the top, where we are directed to traverse around the western side. It is so steep. The snow is rock hard and it is very difficult to get a foothold. We contemplate going straight up and over, but it is just too steep straight up. I start to make my way around the traverse. It is about 100 to 200 metres slide down if you slip. In the end, in these conditions, it is just too dangerous to continue.
Made it.
Both Chip Crusher and I are in agreement. The snow and ice are too risky. The South Sam ones are notoriously difficult at the best of times. In May even more so. To me, this section of trail today is more like an extreme winter mountaineering route rather than a hiking route. The decision is made to not press on and to turn around and find a safer way. My goal is to hike from Mexico to Canada, and preferably not to die trying. On this section, I could easily see that happening. So we backtrack the way we've came and return to Blue Lake. From there we travel down a valley heading northeast across to the Great Divide alternate route. This is about a 7 mile or 11k journey following a mountain river system flowing to Platoro Reservoir. is what I haven't seen for a long time. It's been snow, snow, snow. We've finally got some dry trail. And that lasted all of about 15 seconds. We are in the Rio Grande National Forest, and on the way down we pass by the Three Forks Trailhead and the Adams Trailhead. There are multiple creek crossings, so it's back into the freezing cold water and walking along with wet, soggy socks and shoes. Somewhere along the way down, I lost my Willoware Golf Club cap. It's a tragedy, I know. Add that to the list. I will admit it was getting a bit filthy, so perhaps it was for the best. We've come out here at the Three Forks Trailhead and we're heading down towards Platoro.
You see them higher up and they like to hide behind the rocks. Or...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We're debating what this is. Crystal clear mountain drinking water. That is looking back from the valley. We've just walked down from between that big mountain and on around to the right in the corner. That's Mixed Lake, and behind it's just the Platoro Reservoir. And if I look over there, that's the little town of Platoro. We hit the Great Divide alternate just near the small town of Platoro and take the road walk north. The road leads us past mountains, red and orange in colour. This is because of their high iron content. For the next 20 miles or 32 k's or so, it is recommended that you do not drink the water from the creeks and streams around here because of their high acidity and heavy metals. After the nice walk down the valley, it is time to turn upwards as the road rises for the next 14 miles. That's right, straight up for 22.5 kilometres. This road leads us to the Elwood Pass alternate. Elwood Pass is situated at 11,620 feet in elevation, while Platoro is at 9,849. So it's a big afternoon ahead. A road walk, even if it's uphill, is far more productive than walking on snow. After struggling to do 1 mile an hour at times yesterday, now we are doing nearly 3. The last part of the day, however, is unfortunately spent back in the horrible soft snow. Our destination is a cabin situated at the top of Elwood Pass. We are hoping it will be open so we can escape this bitterly cold afternoon. The wet snow soaks my shoes and my toes are freezing cold. There is just snow everywhere, so there is no choice but to carry on. After a nearly 30 mile or 48 kilometre day, we finally reach Elwood Cabin, and it's just our luck that it's locked up. Damn. It's now 7:15 at night and I'm cold, wet and tired. My feet are sore from such a big day, and now our warm cabin bed is so close yet so far away. We look for every possible way to get in. We try to crack the coated lock, but to no avail. We check the windows, even the loft, to see if there's any way in through a manhole cover, but we are totally out of luck. As disappointing as it is, it's time to accept it is not happening. And so out come the tents and then change out of these wet socks and shoes. At least there is a huge fire ring and lots of stacked firewood. Chip Crusher does his thing and gets a great blaze going. We huddle around it in the dark while cooking dinner by torchlight. It is very windy out and we are camped very high. This does not bode well for a good night's sleep. I've proved I can survive at -13 in a tent and sleeping bag, but I'm a bit over just surviving. For the most part, once 2 to 3 a.m. comes around, I'm just still too cold. It's time for another think on what gear I'm carrying, especially since there's a lot of Colorado still to go. I hope it's not cold tonight. We'll wait and see, but it's not looking good. Yesterday, I ended the day with a 22k or 14-mile climb, and today I'm rewarded with the opposite, a nice, fast downhill stretch. After about 17 kilometres or 11 miles, I come to an uphill section, and after walking downhill for so long, it comes as a bit of a shock to the system. My legs protest, but soon get into the swing of things. This doesn't last too long, and then my descending continues. It's a fast walk as I cover 16 miles in the first 5 hours. It just shows what a difference the trail makes. A couple of days ago, it took all day to not even get that far. I'm travelling through a mountain valley following along a tributary to the Rio Grande River. At first I'm high above looking down on the river system below and then down beside it. The water is flowing fast and roars as it flows through the many little rapids. There are lots of people camping alongside the creek. Some have the most fantastic setups with huge trucks and trailers. Many have ATVs and side-by-sides and get to enjoy them on these forest roads. I meet up with Highway 160 and now it's a 7.5 mile walk into the town of South Fork. This is the busiest highway I've walked along, but there is plenty of room on the shoulder. I'm still following this tributary to the Rio Grande, basically all the way down from Elwood Pass. The Rio Grande begins around here in southern Colorado and flows all the way through New Mexico to the Gulf. Along the way it forms part of the border between Mexico and the USA. After 9 hours of hiking, I've covered the distance of a marathon and arrive at South Fork. My first stop is at a country outfitter's, hoping to find a replacement snow basket for one of my trekking poles. The gentleman there gives me the bottom of an old ski pole. I just have to work out how to make it fit. They also stock dehydrated meals, so I'll come back tomorrow to organise my next resupply. Now it's down farther into the town where I come to the Rainbow Lodge. This will do for tonight and I check in. I haven't seen Chip Crusher since first thing this morning. I'm not sure if he'll make it into town today or not. I'm sure we'll catch up tomorrow to work out the plan for the way ahead.